He was there last night in hospitality, John Craig McManus.
Oh, was he? All right.
Yeah.
Did he speak to you?
Yeah. He came over. I didn't see, he saw me, I didn't see him. He was with SeatGeek. Obviously, the £1.50s that they're collecting every match is
yeah.
Right, good evening. Welcome to the 12-Man podcast, live on YouTube, on Facebook, on the TalkSport network as part of the Fan Network, all the popular places that you listen to your podcasts online as well. Got me, Steve Jackson. I'm your host for the evening. Got two wonderful guests with me, as usual. Mr. John Vanderbrun's with me. Even John?
No, then. Yeah, am I wonderful? That's okay. That's good.
I was talking about the
been called. Right. Okay. Yeah. Been called a lot worse.
He's very open. You all right?
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. Brilliant. Top of the pops.
Well, there'll be a lot of mentions about that over the course of the next 60 minutes. But second guest, he must have survived his trip to on John's bus. Mr. Twe12th is back with us. Evening, Nick. You all right?
Evening, see. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Very good.
You've just told us a little glimpse about what your night was like last night, but we'll go into that. It's a cracking story. It's funny as. So yeah, we'll delve into that. We'll delve into last night's massive win at Bramall Lane. Coventry's 124-day stay at the top of the Sky Bet Championship is over. Borough have now taken over that spot, and if they do keep it for another 84 days, they win the league. So there you go, 84 days to keep it. So we don't have to do as much as what Coventry did. So yeah, we'll dive into last night's game. We'll talk about all the fallout, all the key incidents, and then we'll talk about the game next Monday, which I know they keep getting bigger and bigger, but this is the biggest game of the season, and it's like Sky set it all up when they put the fixtures out and think, yeah, that might be a good game, yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that. But before we start, are we both all right?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Got over a late return home, early start for work. But yeah, I'm fine now.
It's worth it though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, do it all. Well, I will do it all again next week. Probably a late arrival home next week, but
it'll be another hour and a half on your arrival home as well, so it'll be even longer for you. But that's what the fans of this lovely football club do. So I'll start with you, John. I'll call you John because in the comments last week I called you JD, and apparently I got slagged off for saying being from New York. I don't think I'm from New York. It was just his nickname, so apologies for that. Okay. I know. So I'll stick with John because apparently we're not gangster. Last night it was built up. It's one of the biggest games of the season. It was a big game for Sheffield United as well. Sky built it up massively as well on their build up. Paul Merson was part of the team. Did it feel a big game last night? Obviously on your way down to Bramall Lane, because I was sat here, obviously envying everyone that did make the journey down. I felt it was a big game, and I felt it could be a turning point for the season. What did you feel?
Well, SJ, I think everybody who I was talking to at work, and then after work had finished and I got on the coach, everybody was really looking forward to last night's game and Monday's game, saying that the outcomes of both games will be crucial to where our season pans out. A lot of people were saying that they would gladly take a point at each place. That such was the sort of magnitude. I mean, it was a big game. Their last 6 home games, I think, of 6 home league games, that they've won 5, drew 1, scored 17 goals. Almost 3 a game. So they were tough opponents. Obviously, we went in with 5 games on the bounce. So both teams had solid credentials, and as it transpired, it turned out to be a fantastic game.
It did. It was I mean, we'll delve into the first half, because the first half, if you're a neutral, it was one of the best first halves you've probably seen this season. It was end to end. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. So it was proper enjoyable. But Nick, what was your feelings towards the game last night before, obviously, on your way down?
Am I there, Steve? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you? Yeah, can you?
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, my machine's gone funny, but yeah. No, it was a game that I guess on paper it did look one of the hardest games of the season in my eyes. It's never an easy place to go. And before the game we were talking, and I'd have certainly taken a draw. And I think probably the majority of people felt the same.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was. I think the conversations I had over the weekend was if the next two games, obviously we'll talk about the second game later on in the hour. If we took 2 draws from our next 2 games, I'd have probably took it. Still beating the next 2 games, then we're not far off. Obviously, what happened last night was a bit more than that. But team-wise, John, couldn't really argue with that team, could you? You see, you couldn't really change much. You couldn't really improve on it. I mean, those people that brought. You could think on the bench, maybe Sarmiento come in, but that was about the team for me. That why change a winning team?
Well, there is that, but it was a solid team. Unchanged. Great starting 11. Strong all over the pitch, really.
Yeah, exactly. Nick, you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you could have changed much. It was the team probably that everybody would have gone with.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It was a team I preempted. I thought, yeah, that's probably what the team that we needed. But future man of the match, Dale Fry didn't get a spot in, so it was absolutely fine. But go on, John.
Yeah. Last week's podcast, I did possibly suggest that Kim might have been a little bit cautious and started with a defence of 3 in the middle. But anyway, it didn't go that way, and that's why that's why he chooses a team. He's doing so well, and his decisions have been absolutely spot on. We looked still solid, even though we just had the 2 centre halves starting the game. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, definitely, it was all good. I say no complaints. Everybody was happy. Going to the game, Nick, the way Sheffield United started was exactly what I expected. They came out the blocks firing. They came out quick. Knew they had to get a goal early. Stats wise, they score a hell of a lot of goals in the first 15 minutes, and that's the pressure they put onto us, and we stood firm in that pressure.
Yeah, I think it was one of them games, though, Steve, wasn't it? And football, the more you see football, it is more fine margins. And one of those chances drops and they hit the ball cleanly and it soars into the net, and it's a completely different game, isn't it? I mean, we did well, we held firm, but it is one of them things that as I say, fine margins make a massive difference. They
do, and if we give some accolades to obviously our first player. It would be Solbrin, wouldn't it? Them 2 saves he made in the first 15, 20 minutes, they were outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think probably, again, I said to you before we started, off air, but I was in one of the restaurants yesterday, so I was sat in the main stand. And obviously you could hear the Borough fans, certainly as the game went on more and more, but that first 10 minutes, the atmosphere. And it wasn't a packed stadium, the Borough fans couldn't see, but the stand above where the Borough fans were, it was probably a third full. So it was nowhere near a capacity crowd, but you could hear and feel the atmosphere building, and you were just concerned that as I say, one special bit of skill from him or whatever, or Bamford or whatever, and the game could have changed pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You are right. It's about them fine margins. We say, one little bit of accuracy. We say, I know Bamford's touch was exquisite for the shot he had just wide. if you put that to the side, might have gone in. But what was the feeling like in the away end, John? When Sheffield United made that quick start, was it as expected from the home side?
Oh, well, I think from my perspective, it was, like I say, it was always going to be a tough game. You look at their previous home results, and yeah, they've started quickly, and they've done well. It was a case of us getting to grips with them early on, but the support, the optimism with the Borough fans, especially, you know, considering it's a 5-game winning run, as you would expect, was absolutely buoyant. You know, so the atmosphere was fantastic. Yes, we were a little bit, we were pushed back a little bit in those first 15 minutes, but yeah, we withstood that, and you know, we went on to get stronger as the game progressed, especially first half.
Yeah, it's like we got rid of the issues kind of thing, and it was, you know, we just weathered the storm, you know, to get rid of, you know, any nerves that we may have had going there. It's a compact ground. It's very tight on either side of the touchline. So it is. I've been there many times before. It's a horrible place to go, but we weathered it. We got through it. We see a couple of good saves. It was really good. And then, quite frankly, Nick, we've scored some good goals this season. That goal from Tommy Conway is one of the best goals we've scored this season. As John has, we've watched some pretty dire football watching Middlesbrough Football Club over the years. Kim's spoiling us at the moment, and that goal really epitomised that feeling of we all have. The football was exquisite. The football was brilliant. The finish was brilliant, and it just showed the whole world what we were about.
Yeah, I mean, he missed arguably a much easier chance, maybe 5 or 10 minutes earlier. You know, where it was still going up as it hit the back of the stand, I think. But yeah, I mean, when you know, it started around that time, but probably from then on for the rest of the first 45 minutes, it's probably as good as I can remember consistently the way we were popping the ball about within the midfield area, and the way players were running and the off, you know, running off the ball. And I think that's one of the big differences between the Championship and the Premiership. You look at Manchester City, and yes, they do play some very good balls, but a lot of Manchester City's balls are fairly easy balls that are made easy by the players that are running off the ball. And I think that's where the massive difference is at the moment when you compare Hellberg's team to Edwards' team to Carrick's team, is the off the ball movement that makes it look easy almost. And it's not easy, but it makes it look easy. And you know, I'm still not a great believer in where we're playing around at the back, but it was just about exemplary at the back, and there was sometimes you think, how are we going to get out of this? And they did, and by popping the ball off so many times, you know, and very, very difficult for any team to defend against it.
No,
yeah. Right. I mean, I agree with you, Nick. I mean, yeah, it looked hairy at times, you know, but we managed to just play neat little triangles, and their press was good, but we just got out of it by playing triangles, and then obviously as they press, they leave space behind, and it's our players moving into that space behind them that got us out of trouble so many times. And it was the quality of Fest touch passes and Fest control that has improved so much. I mean, we all remember the Carrick days of when we were playing it at the back and your heart was in your mouth, and the number of times that we were caught by a team pressing us on the edge of our box. But yeah, we got out of trouble so easy last night, and it's with a lot of the same personnel as Carrick had. Obviously, quite a few slight additions, but I think now the players know how to negate an opposition press far more than they did under Carrick, and we used to lose the ball so many times. And once we've got out of that 18, 20 yard area into midfield, it all opened up for us.
Well, that's it, and it's just obviously to press on what you were saying there. It has got better and better. Something we discussed, just under a year ago when we were looking for Carrick's successor. We said there's a philosophy around the club now. This is the kind of football we do want to play going forward. It's not a case of someone coming in and changing it all. It's just like adding bits onto it or just changing slight little bits, not just doing a full tear up and we'll start again. And it's starting to show because, if you look at the two coaches we brought in since, Edwards was exactly the same. Played out from the back, knew exactly where to go long if needs be, and the passing was good. And what Kim's done is just improved on that again. And we just look a complete footballing team at the moment.
Every position, yeah.
You know what I think also makes a big difference, and it's a bit of a daft one, really, but I do think that the team spirit is as high as it's been for an awful long time. And I think, like everything else, when you're playing with your mates, and you want to dig them out if they make a mistake, or you want to make them look good, or whatever. And I do believe that that's what helped. Another positive of Hellberg that he's generated. I mean, I was up at the training ground last Thursday, and it's strange, but you can feel the atmosphere, you can feel the difference. The players are sort of fooling about with each other, and just being mates, really. You know what I mean? Whereas in the past when I've been there, sometimes when things haven't been going our way, it's sort of like it's almost like nobody's talking to anybody, and it's just a different atmosphere. And I do think that the team spirit is probably as strong as it's been for an awful long time.
I think, that comes with results, Nick, and it also comes with trust.
Absolutely,
I think that the players, they get on, but they trust each other. They're working for each other. And like you say, they'll want to dig the mates out should they be caught in possession or make a slack pass. And it's great to see. Yeah, you go back to like 10 years ago, Karanka era. The spirit in the camp then was unbelievable. I know we had that Charlton fallout, but by and large, those were a team of battlers. Those were a team that would scrap for results, and it often transpired, that we scored so many late goals in that promotion run-in with Karanka.
No, you're absolutely right, and as much as I wasn't a fan of Karanka when it came to the end. That's not because of results wise. So I still believe after the Charlton stuff he shouldn't have come back, but that's another conversation to have. This is probably the best footballing team we've had since then, and people say, well, it's hard to get better than what we had under Carrick when we got beat by Coventry in the playoff semi-final. I think this completely shadows that team in every way. We've got bits of quality in areas of the pitch where I didn't think we needed, or we should have, and we do. The togetherness, like you mentioned, just everything. It all comes together. And to have some of the quality in our team that we do have is scary, to be quite honest.
I think the one thing that we are missing, though, Steve, is a natural finisher. And could you imagine that team with a natural finisher? It would be we'd be home and hose before the end of March.
I know, we'd be home and hose now. Amount of chances we've missed, but no, absolutely, yeah. If we could pick, then that would be the one. But I mean, luckily Conway's started to find his boots now, and I say 4-4 now for Tommy. He's doing well. So he's firing goals, but we need a killer in front of the goal now. We are absolute killer. But one thing we do have, John, and it was mentioned on Sky last night, the best player in the league, and I can't argue much with that at the moment. I know if McGree's fully fit, he runs rings on most players in this league, but Hayden Hackney his come of age, and the display he put in midfield last night, he absolutely bossed it, and he looks scary, different level to the rest of what was around him.
Yeah, I mean, he is our driving force. Most of our good work comes through him. You know, and we've got to, you know, we've got to take advantage of that at the moment. You know, 15 games, for us to fulfil his dream of taking his hometown club into the Premier League, and the players around him. If we can do that, and the fans, when we all pull together, we can achieve it. But yeah, Hayden Hackney, standout player, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, John, it's confidence, isn't it? And also, I mean, he's playing with a smile. You know, he's almost enjoying. You know, he's enjoying it, and you can see that in the way he plays and the way he drives and everything. You know, that everything is aligned at the same time, really.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. It's just a pleasure to watch at the moment, and even for the goal itself, Nick, he drove himself into the position to get the shot off. I mean, McGree did exactly what to be fair, what Conway should have been doing. He followed the ball in perfectly and headed the ball in. And you'll get all the plaudits. You'll get, you know, he scored the goal. He followed the ball in. Fair enough. But it's just the drive he made towards, you know, the edge of the box to hit the ball in front of Tanganga. You know, he took 3 or 4 players on. It didn't look like anybody could stop him, which was the best bit about it.
Going back to the goal, Steve, I mean, you know, we've seen it, haven't we, so many times. You know, for all it sat up nicely for him. We've seen them missed a few times. You know, it was total control by McGree. You know, you couldn't fault that. And as I said, there are other players without naming names who you wouldn't have put your life savings on to have buried that.
Yeah, he was quick. He was sharp. He anticipated. Like you say, like Steve said, he got into position, but he didn't have a great deal of time to react. But he reacted superbly, very quickly, and the timing of that second goal was absolutely crucial, vital. You know, and yeah, I don't know what it was like in the restaurant because I didn't have that luxury, Nick, but on the concourse, it was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. It was as loud in the concourse as it was in the stands at halftime. It was superb.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I mean,
it was a case of, you know, I said 2 minutes before halftime, we've got to get through to halftime now, and you know, you'd have gone in 1-0 up and you'd have been happy with that, but to get the second one was certainly, it changed the game.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
I was exactly the same as you. Before we got that second goal, I thought we just need to get through half time. But then after we scored the second goal, the pressure was still on Sheffield United, and it got to a point where I thought Sheffield United need half time here, because if we get a third here, this could run away from them. And they looked all over the shop. They didn't know quite what to do. They looked a bit out of ideas. It looked a bit scary for them getting towards half time.
But that first 45 minutes, some of the ball carrying and the one-touch football, it was, like I think Nick said earlier, it's probably the best football we've played for God knows how long. You know, we've already seen some great performances this season under Hellberg, most notably a Hull away 4-0 up at half time and tore them to pieces. But I thought even though we didn't score as many goals, I thought our first half performance was better than that at Hull last night. I just thought we were absolutely superb.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that, because when you look at the whole first half, you know, people have got, you know, can say, well, actually, you know, Hull were really poor, and to be fair, they were poor. We just took advantage of that, and we had to take advantage of it. But last night, I thought Sheffield United were good. And I thought at times they were really good. They say like you said, they pressed us really well. You know, they didn't press in ones, they pressed in 2s and 3s, and put us under some immense pressure. You know, they defended well. The keeper played well. Michael Cooper, he played really well. You know, some of the saves he had to make, but we just had an answer for everything in that first half. And walking into the tunnel at first half, them players, their shoulders must have been miles above any of the Sheffield United players because we just absolutely dominated them. And it was brilliant to watch, and I didn't really want half time to come.
They're a very good team. I mean, you look at their midfield. What was it? Brooks, O'Hare, and Hamer. That's a strong midfield.
Yeah, with
But you
Arbroath
know what?
behind them. Yeah,
and you know what? Brown, Morris, Hackney, and McGree. You know, they sort of overran them. It was great to see. Really good to see.
Yeah, it was dominant. It was brilliant. It was, yeah, it brought a tear to the eye. It was just brilliant to watch. I thought, my God, what am I missing here? What am I missing here? The tripe I've watched on Tuesday night, all the away days used to do at Cardiff and all sorts of places where you got beat 1-0. And you know, I'm missing all this, but you know, it's what it is. It's fine. But I mean, second half, I came to a little conclusion in the second half. I'll tell you what the conclusion is a little bit later. But if there was one player that was going to bring Sheffield United back into that game, Nick, if you sat there in your fancy meal, you know, all nice and warm at half time, everyone probably would have guessed who you would have said.
Well, to be fair, you'd have said Mr. Bamford all day, every week, wouldn't you? But I thought the winger, I can't remember what he was called. I thought he had a cracking first half.
Is it Sariki or something like that?
No, the other one. He won their man of the match in the lounge we were in. I can't remember what his name was, but he sort of played a bit further inside in the second half. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? And again, talking on the way back, that we seem to, and this sounds like a criticism. It's not a criticism, but we seem to always have a better half than the other half. We don't always seem to have two consistent halves where we're either good both halves or we're bad both halves. We seem to be really, really good one half and not as good the second or the other half. And sometimes it's the first half and sometimes it's the second half. I don't know why. It just seems that's the way. And you know, we certainly didn't play badly in the second half by any means, but we were nowhere near as effective in the second half as we were in the first half.
I mean, was that because Wilder had said to them, you know, look, we have to go for it. So he pepped them up, or possibly Kim Helbeck said, right, just contain. So we really weren't as adventurous second half as we were first. That 2-goal cushion, you know, we had to maintain it as long as we could. But yeah, I see your point. You know, yeah, we've had games under Hellberg where we've blown teams away in one half, and it seems like the second half is just a bit of consolidation.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that because that comes on to my. Go on, I'll let you finish, Nick, and I'll tell you what.
I was just going to say, I mean, we did in the first 10 minutes of the second half, we did have a number of chances to wrap it up. That really we should have wrapped it up, you know, with some of those chances in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't, and then. But yeah, I mean, we didn't. I'm not saying we played badly second half, but what I'm saying is we didn't play as well the second half. You know, and you could probably say them against the Preston game. You could certainly say the same at Hull City away. But then other games, we played
Southampton.
Yeah, but Southampton we played better second half, didn't we? Did we go in 1-0 up at Southampton? Or was it 0-0 at Southampton? I can't remember.
Yeah. I was just trying to say that it's one half outshone the other. I wasn't saying it was either the best half or the second.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you mentioned it because my point was going to be, I'm starting to find out more and more that we're not a 90-minute team. We seem to have like power periods where we absolutely go through an opponent, like we did against Southampton, like we did against Hull. You know, the periods we had against Norwich, even though we only scored once, the periods we had last night. We don't. It's not a criticism because we don't have to sustain it for 90 minutes. We put the right moments together, and all of a sudden we've put the game to bed, and we've shown that in the last 6 games. Because if you want to look at a bad example of it, West Brom away, we were 2-0 up. We stepped off it a bit. They scored twice, but then we had the know-how again to step back on it and get that winning goal, which we shouldn't have had to do in the first place, but we did. But that's what I mean. It's not a 90-minute game for us anymore. We're finding periods in the match where if we dominate, we take our chances. doesn't give the team a chance to come back into it, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like Stoke, awful first half, find ourselves 1-0 down, and we pull it out the bag. Second half with an early equaliser, and then Tommy Conway with a winner. But do you know what? Yeah, I would love us to dominate for full 90 minutes. But at the end of the day, when the referee blows his whistle, as long as we're leading, and that's it, we've won the game. I'm more than happy. I'll put up with that.
Agreed.
I think the other thing is that, you know, the substitutions, I think that sometimes we make are protecting players. So obviously, you know, McGree went off last night, and you know the replacements often aren't the same level as the players that are coming off.
Yeah. I found when McGree came off, I thought the buzz came out of our team a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Conway was another one when he was sort of substituted. Yeah, Strelic didn't have the same impact. So there is that. But again, it's about protecting the players that maybe sort of been identified as they might only be able to do 70 minutes at that intensity and take them off before they damage themselves. I mean, we all know that McGree has had his injury problems, so he's one especially that we need to protect. And as for Conway, nobody puts a shift in like him, and he's integral to the way our team performs. So again, he's another one that Hellberg thought, right, you know, let's take him off and protect what we've got. I don't know. That's just my thoughts, possibly.
I bet as well, though, John, in the 125-year history of the club, we've never gone 18 games where we've taken the lead and won every one.
No, yeah.
That is a mind-blowing stat, and you know, so for all we're here saying, well, we've done this, we've done that, we've done the other, and yes, we dug ourselves out the hole at West Brom. We haven't almost even conceded to go level after we've scored. I can't remember. You know, so
did you say 125 years there?
Is it that what it is? 150
it's 150
years,
isn't it?
150 yeah.
It's just a big anniversary next year. That's just in case you forgot, Nick.
Yeah. It's this year, isn't it? Oh no, it's this year.
No. Well, yes, it's October 2026. Yeah.
We'll buy you both a calendar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But you're welcome. But no, you're absolutely right. It's that stat is, it's astounding. You know, if we don't lose if we score first, and that kind of reminds me going back to when we were under Karanka, because it seems like, you know, majority of them wins, if we scored first, that was it. You know, we didn't lose them games, and you know, it's having the same sort of mantra, I suppose. And
well, Hellberg said last night, didn't he, that the stats show that 70% of the time when you go ahead, you win. So, but to go from 70 to 100 is ridiculous.
That's good, yeah.
He's... Go on, John.
No, I was just going to say it's phenomenal. I mean, you look at all the stats that have been produced since Hellberg's been in charge, and we've improved in every one. You know, our completion of passes, carries with the ball, all sorts. You know, they've been all over social media, and Hellberg has improved every stat in his short time here. It's absolutely phenomenal what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, interesting, isn't it? You can never prove it, or you can never determine it. But where would we be if Edwards hadn't walked?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Would we have? I mean, because there was obviously started the season blisteringly well, and then it didn't tail off, but we just we slowed a little, didn't we? In picking up points, and then obviously he jumped ship, but you know, luckily for us, the club were able to secure Hellberg, and what a transformation he's made.
And if you put it both together, we were paid to take Kim Hellberg because the amount of money we got in from Wolves was nowhere near what we paid Hammerby for the services of Kim Hellberg. So yeah, we've benefited so much from that transaction. Thank God. I mean, I've got the stats in front of me from let's say the improvements we've made under Kim Hellberg. I mean, we didn't start bad under Rob Edwards, if we're being brutally honest. We didn't, but for a manager at this point, he scores just about 2 goals a game. He averages 16 shots a game. We're creating chances still, which is more than what we did against under Edwards. Scoring more goals. I'm not going to go through expected goals stuff. I don't get all that sort of stuff. But the points per game as well. I think, if I remember rightly, we've got the most points in the league now since he took charge, which says everything. His impact has been huge on this club, and people saying, "Oh, it's just a new manager bounce." It's gone beyond that now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine where we'd be without that 4-game blip?
No, that's something that still rankles with me a little bit, because in those games, we should have got more than a 1-point return. But it's over and done with. You can't change it. But you did right, Nick. Dead right.
No, absolutely right. I mean, if you think about it, because I remember totting down the amount of shots for when we actually did score a goal. We had 93 shots before we scored.
Over those 4 games.
Over them 4 games, yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. 93. I've never seen a Borough team do that. I remember going on away days watching Tony Mowbray's Borough. I think it was one game we had 7 shots all game because we just went back side to side to side.
There's been many occasions in the past where we've completed games with 0 shots on target.
We've won one of them, didn't we, at Man City?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was Sun Park. That's him. That's the one. Yes, sorry, I got the Manchester one mixed up. Yeah, Man United player. Yeah, but yeah, it was that one. Yeah, fantastic.
But there you go. It just shows how good when things go your way, things go your way. One bad point from the night. Well, it wasn't a bad point. It was a good point for us, but it caused a bit of wasn't it? I'll start with you, John. Red card from your perspective, where you were stood. Was it a red card for Joe Rothwell?
I really couldn't tell. It looked like a slightly late challenge, but I've seen footage of it, and he does lunge in quite aggressively and actually catches Brown. So yeah, red card. I mean, and I don't think Chris Wilder in his post-match comments, he didn't sort of try and defend Joe Rothwell, and he didn't say that it shouldn't have been anything other than a red card. So yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that, because to be honest, it helped us. It helped us so much. It would have been a different last 10 minutes if he'd have been on the pitch.
Yeah, it took the sting out of the game, didn't it? Because they were just building ahead of steam, weren't they? Because obviously they just got the goal to get back in the game, and they were starting to create chances. And I was thinking, oh God, please don't. But yeah, that red card came at a good time, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually sat probably 10, 12, 15 yards away from the challenge. And my first reaction was, that's red, that. And I didn't shout it, but yeah, and there was a guy in front of me turned around and looked at me and said, "You're joking, are you?" And I must admit, I didn't realize it was bad as it was until I saw it on the television in the room after the game. But yeah, I mean, if that had gone to VAR, even VAR would have given the red card, wouldn't it? So yeah. I don't think anybody could have any dispute, really.
No, as Don Goodman described it as orange. He said that's an orange card if I've ever seen one. As soon as he said that, I thought ref's going to give a red here, because he did jump in and he was very late.
He didn't say orange, or did he? Didn't he say orange at the time as live rather than after on the replays?
Yeah. As soon as it happened, he said that's an orange card if I've ever seen one. But then as soon as he saw the replays, he went, "Yeah, that's a red card." That, and you could see why he was late. He lunged. He was a bit high, and you could see Gavin Ward mouthing that to Rothwell as well. He said to him, because obviously Rothwell's saying that's the yellow, isn't it? And he said, "No, it's too high." you're too high, and pulled the red card out. So that was his explanation, and you didn't really see many complaints. I say, I know Rothwell tried, and Hackley just looked at him and said, "Away, come on. If we'd done that, you'd been exactly the same as us." So, yeah, and like you said, Chris Wilder didn't complain either. But like John said, Nick, it did take the sting out of the game, and it helped a bit get us over the line, because it was starting to become a bit of a siege, because the crowd was getting up, because it looked like Bramall Lane was getting very noisy, and they believed they were going to get back at this game.
Yeah, I was quite surprised how, even in injury time, how they didn't really threaten massively. They brought the keeper up, and I'm sure the referee will be marked down for allowing two keepers to play with the same coloured jersey. That must have that can't be permissible, I wouldn't think, in the normal course of events. And if he had
not when you see the keepers come up into the opposition box as often as you do these day and age.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if, I don't know, if he'd been up there and one of our players had passed to their keeper?
Yeah.
Or if he'd I was quite surprised at the lack of pressure, really, that they put us under. Whether that was because we were always a threat, and I don't know. But again, for me, when the keeper came up, I was screaming, just put one of our players on the halfway line. Yeah. We had a man advantage. They had a man taking the corner, so we've got a 2-man advantage. Why not? Why not put somebody on the halfway line, and then then they've got to change it.
Well, you saw, didn't you, last week when Chelsea played Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-final?
Yeah,
Liam Senior had instructed 2 or 3 Chelsea players to sort of, as they were getting set up for the corner, to run out of the box.
Yeah.
To lessen the crowd in the box, and also to pull the Arsenal players away from the goal, because obviously Arsenal have scored so many goals from set pieces this season. And yeah, you're right. It could have been something that we done. Just keep players up on the halfway line. They would have to have somebody back with them. So yeah, it might have made it easier for us, but we didn't do that.
No, but we got there. It's the most important thing.
Yeah,
absolutely, it is. Yeah,
exactly. And that's, as I say, the full-time whistle went. You both probably had different kind of reactions. I'll start with yours, John. What was the away end like when that final whistle went? Because it looked absolutely balmy.
It was brilliant. I was at the very back row, in the area that we sell tickets for, called the singing section, and it was brilliant, absolutely superb. Hugging everybody around you, jumping up and down, and just really sort of celebrating the win. It was it was great, because I think everybody realised we'd not only played well, but it was a massive statement that we made to win at their place, and we now go top by 2 points. So yeah, all that combined just made it fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was massive relief and massive emotions at full time. And take that to the other side of the spectrum. What was your full time experience like, Nick? I imagine it was a bit more died down than that.
Yeah, I think when you're in the opposition, when you're in the opposition territory, I think you've always got to be respectful of where you are, and hey, I've seen it on the other, when the boat's been on the other foot. It got a bit hairy in the first half when we went 2-0 up, and the guy sort of just outside the hospitality area threatened to, if he came over the barrier, he was going to kill us. Literally, well, a bit more language than that. But then, as we sat down for the second half, hospitality steward came over and explained that the guy in question had just returned from a banning order, and did we want to move a bit further down the stand? But yeah, it was one of those that it was, the second half was a bit quieter than the first half.
Yeah.
Good job, really. You sit here and live to tell the tale. But no, it's massive win. And like you said, John, took us 2 points clear at the top. We knocked Coventry off the pitch. That's exactly what we were aiming to do. You say we said that this was a chance to do it, and we took our chance at the first time of asking.
Yeah. To do that and to go top, it obviously now puts a target on our back, doesn't it? We're the ones to catch now. But it's middle of February. I think Kim said it after the match. There's 15 games to go, and we've seen ourselves how so much can change in a short space of time. Like you say, Coventry have imploded with a series of poor results. Other teams like Ipswich have dropped points also. We could do the same. It's not unfeasible that we may have a little bit of a sticky patch, but I think we've got the man in charge and the personnel behind him to deal with it should it happen, and we've got a great bunch of players with spirit, with quality, and I think there is a real desire there for us to stay within that top two, and hopefully at the summit it would be fantastic. I mean, it would mean we would go into our 150th year as a Premier League club. I mean, that you could not write at the beginning of the season.
No, you're absolutely right. And it's, maybe at the end of the season, we'll play what we all said at the beginning, our predictions for the season. They'll completely, I don't think anybody expected where we are at the moment. It's been, it's been fantastic to watch. But I'd love to have been part of it. I really would have. Yeah. But I'll be back for the most important bit to get us over the line, and I can't wait for that. So I'm looking forward to that. So, but yeah, huge win last night. Huge well done to the lads. They pulled it over the line. Next question, gentlemen. This can be a difficult one. I'll start with you, Nick. Man of the match for last night.
Well, there's all sorts of players you could pick, isn't there? I think Hackney was the standout. I thought all the midfield were very strong. I thought the defence was solid. The keeper played well. Conway ran. He did miss chances, but he pulled the defenders about. But yeah, I think I'd go Hackney.
John, I'll come to you before I read out the comments on Twitter or X, so everyone.
Yeah, I was like Nick. You look around the pitch and there was so many candidates, but I thought Sol Bryn for me. He kept us in the game at crucial times. Saved some good shots with his feet, with diving saves. So he got my man of the match.
Yeah, no, like you both said, but there were so many candidates for the man of the match. I mean, you look on our Twitter feed at 12th man. Graham Jackson went for. He chucked in Malander, Conway, Hackney. All had good games. Paul Jacobs went for McGree. Ian Wagner went for Conway. Tom Allison went for probably Hackney. Shane it over McGree and Bryn. Kev Hooper went for Joint, McGree and Hackney. Aflac, great name. Sol Bryn and Francis went for Sol Bryn as well. But yeah, my man of the match was Riley McGree. For the impact he made, I mean, people go, why not giving it to Dale Fry? But I'm not going to talk about that. No, Riley McGree was absolutely unplayable at times. He found a spot on that left wing, and he drifted in at vital times. You often see him drift in at the wrong time and leave that big space. And you think, you need him out there, but he seems to move well with Conway. If Conway seems to move in that space, if McGree had drifted in with the football, McGree made it look effortless at times as well. Like some of the passing he made, the pass he made for the goal for Conway, it's a difficult pass to make, and he made it, and he made it look easy. But yeah, it was fantastic last night. McGree, absolutely fantastic.
Well, Craig Johns wrote about McGree's input in the season. He's only started 8 games, but he's got 3 goals and 3 assists. I mean, six 6 key involvements in 8 games is it's a good return. But obviously, we just want him to be fit now for another 15.
Exactly. And I think that's probably why Hellberg probably bring him off at the time he did, just to bull wrap him a little bit. Because there's going to be even bigger games coming, and we all know that, and he knows that. So, yeah, fantastic win last night, brilliant, and well deserved for all you lads that went down. Enjoyed it. They say you went through the bad times. It's time you enjoyed the good times, and you're enjoying it massively now. So, long may they continue. Which takes us. I mean, we said this is a big 7 days. We've had one. On to the next one. The team we dethroned at the top of the Sky Bet Championship. We now head to a trip on Monday night to Frank Lampard's Coventry City, which, John, has not been the greatest place in the world to visit. We've had some very unfortunate places, and in times that we've been down there, and come back unhappy. One being last season in the final game, but this is one we go there with massive amounts of confidence, and for the first time you feel, well, actually, why can't we go there and win? Why can't we go there and get a result?
Yeah. I mean, it's not just there where they've been a thorn in our side. It's at home too. They've just been they've had the sign over us for the last few seasons. So maybe it's about time we turn the tables. But you're right. We have to go there, and we should go there with confidence sky high. Players knowing that they're a good, solid team who can beat any other in this division. So yeah, I'm quite confident now of us getting a positive result down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with that, Nick, isn't it? Really, because Coventry have laid their cards on the table. They've gone heavily in January as well to upgrade their squad, and they've made it abundantly clear this is the year they go for it, because you can't see how they get away from the loans, etc. They brought in. But I think we've caught them at a really good time. Not just for obviously their bad form, but our really good form.
I think, Steve, the pressure's almost on them more than us. I feel that, if they get beat next week, their fans are gonna, it's starting to, you read in X and things, and it's starting to get a little bit toxic. And I was reading something today which said if they get beat against us and they get beat the following, do they play Sheffield United away the following week?
No, West Brom.
West Brom, that's right, West Brom, and then they play Sheffield United, I think, don't they? After that,
yes, yeah.
But I was reading somewhere today that people question whether they should get a Lampard if they get beat in those 2 games.
I read that also.
It's almost like a free hit to if the worst did happen, and we've got a horrendous. I don't think we've ever got a point down there, have we? At the CVS. We've certainly never won there.
I think the best we've got was that 0-0 draw in the first leg of the playoffs. I think that's the best we've got.
Okay, yeah. So I think we've played there 6 or 7 times, and probably got effectively what. Well, it wasn't even a point, was it? Because it didn't count for anything in the end. But it's almost a bit of a free hit, because if I'd take a draw now. If we get beat, not the end of the world. We've then got what on paper look 2 relatively easy home games. They've got 2 away games, and so it's one of them, isn't it? And you say we've got the confidence. We've got the ability to do to them what we did to Sheffield United, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the luxury of like 2 outcomes that will be suitable for us. We can take a draw and maintain our top spot, or we get the win, which extends the lead over them. They're like you say, they have to win. Yeah, so the pressure is definitely more on them than it is us.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, you mentioned about Coventry's next games after us. I mean, I did have a look at their next 6. I mean, they've got West Brom away, Sheffield United away, Stoke at home, Bristol City away, Preston at home, Southampton at home. They're not easy games, then. That is, West Brom are fighting for their lives at the moment. They really are in a relegation scrap, which I never thought I'd say in a million years.
And it's a local derby also.
Exactly, and it's a team only down the road. And then you've got the teams there. Sheffield United still believe they've got a chance at the playoffs. They still believe they can be that team if they start a run about now. Stoke, they're in the playoff run. Bristol City, still the same. Southampton, they still believe they can do it as well. So the 6 games they've got after us, they've really got to start picking up some momentum, and they've got absolutely none at the moment. I know that they're pretty good at home. I mean, I watched a little bit of them on Saturday when they drew 0-0 at Oxford, and they did batter on the door quite a bit. They just couldn't get through. But their away form is horrendous. Absolutely, I think they haven't won an away game in is it 9 games now? I think that's awful form. At the wrong time as well, like you just said, it's bad form hits them at the wrong time. It's getting to the point of the season where things are going to start ramping up and up and up, and they haven't got a leg to stand on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we've put ourselves at the top. We've got thankfully decent rest periods between games.
Yeah.
We didn't, as far as I'm aware, pick up any injuries from last night. So yeah, we're going to have a strong squad to choose from for Monday night's game. And we'll go there. We'll go there thinking that we're capable of beating them, even though they've got a great home record and the second in the table. I think we'll go there confident of getting something.
Yeah, and why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? It's about time we had that bits of confidence. To go places like that and get them results. So. Yeah, it's a good time to be a Borough fan. That's all I'm going to say. It's a really good time to be a Borough fan. So, with that being said, I'll start with you, Nick. Prediction for next Monday night at the CBS.
John's going to fall off his chair here. Hold on, John. I'm going to go 2-0 Morgan Whittaker.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I must admit, you did preempt me that with a WhatsApp message last week. I think it was when you said we'd get 2 wins, didn't?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you were at the wedding, and I just said somebody's stolen your phone. Yeah, but I'll go for a win also. I'll go 2-1, and Tommy Conway to continue his rich vein of form.
There you go, 2-0 and 2-1 from the boys. I'm going to go 1-0. I think we'll nick it. It's not going to be the nicest of nights. We all went through it last night. I'm going to go through it again next Monday. 1-0, and I think Riley McGree gets the winner. I do. So there you go, 1-0 McGree. And if that happens, we could be. Well, we not could be. We will be. We'll be 5 clear going into 2 whole games, John. Does that give you the confidence to say we're not far off here? We could be close to this.
Yeah, I mean, 15 games to go now, 14 games to go after Coventry. Still, a lot of football to be played, a lot of points to be won and lost. If we get through Coventry and we've got them 2 home games to look forward to, yes, they're winnable. But we've seen what Oxford have done at the CBS Arena last weekend. So take nothing for granted. The players will be fired up, I'm sure. Kim Elberg will see to that. As fans, we need to be also. We need the level of support we get at away games and as we did against Norwich. We need that for the home games to just help the team on, intimidate the opposition. Yeah, if we all pull together, we can get what we want.
Yeah, but it just goes down to that mantra, doesn't it, Nick? 1 game at a time.
Absolutely. We've got a dream now, haven't we? We are. I think when I looked last night, we are 1-3 to get promoted.
Yeah.
And 11-10 to win the league. 11-10 favourites.
Wow.
It can change overnight, as it has done. Coventry were 1-9 on or something to win the championship, weren't they? 4 or 5 games ago. But you know, that's what this league is. This league is full of unknowns. Which again, in my, and I've said it all, and I always say that, for me, this is a much better league to be a Borough fan in than the Premiership. Accepting you've got no option, and you've got to go, you've got to try and get there. I always say that the journey to the Premiership is far, far better than the destination.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's I mean, we look at the Premier League and all the farce that you saw with VAR on Sunday and stuff like that, and you think, do I really want to be part of that? And then you win games like last night, you think, yeah, I do want to be part of that, because that's the reward for what we're doing. So,
a club like Middlesbrough, an area like Teesside, cannot turn down a cash injection that Premier League football brings. You just have to hope that you can invest the money wisely in the playing staff, and some improvements to the stadium also, which I'm sure we'll see if we do get Premier League status. It'll boost the local economy. You can't turn that down, and you just got to hope that if we do get up there, the personnel that we do invest in adapts quickly, a bit like Sunderland have, and that we perform like them rather than like Burnley. Yeah,
it's quite a bad way, and isn't it? Talking about how we should be aiming towards Sunderland and not Burnley. But
I know it pains me to say that, but you've got to appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That as a football club, that's where we need to aim for. We need to do exactly what Sunderland have done, and show no fear like they have, and invest smartly, which I'm sure we will do. So, but that's conversations to have in the summer. We can't have them now because we don't know where we're going to be. So, but
is the story right that we've selected a 23-man squad rather than a 25-man squad? Was I reading?
Yep. Yes, there is 2 spaces free. Yes. Which is a bit strange considering we can't really sign anyone now.
Well, we can if they're out of contract. We could probably sign what's his name from Chelsea, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, let's get Raheem Sterling.
Oh yeah, Sterling and Origi. Origi's a free agent, isn't it?
Has anything been said about the reason?
Not that I've read.
No, I mean. No, I've just read about not the retained list. Sorry, the
squad.
The squad going ahead, and it's missing Dieng, Lenihan, and Hamilton. So,
I mean, I'm assuming that Lenihan can only be because they realise he isn't going to be able to play. And is the other ones to try and sicken them off to try and get them to the MLS or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
I did think that Dieng will probably get taken out for a while, Smith. I did see that coming, but I didn't see Hamilton being taken out. He hasn't really set the place alight. I know, I get that.
Yeah.
But
well,
I wouldn't have took him out.
They've had very little input between them in this season, so I don't think it's a big loss. But to be 2 players short is it's unusual, but I don't think it's a problem.
No, absolutely not.
Fingers crossed, anyway. But and then just like that, gentlemen, we're done, finished. John, thank you very much for joining me again as usual.
No problem.
Safe trip to Coventry. Nick, thank you very much for popping on. Always good to catch up with you.
No problem.
And safe trip to Coventry as well.
I'm on John's bus, so we'll either both get there as well.
He's coming with me. He's going to our favourite pub in the Midlands, Steve.
Well, I do miss that pub. I miss telling him every time we walk out, I won't be back here next year. I end up back there. Actually, I told the truth that last time. I won't be back here next year. So I got partly right. But and to you people for liking, subscribing, commenting, and and keeping us going. It's a podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, we'll have a chat again next Tuesday. Don't tune in next Monday. These two are in Coventry, and I'll be watching us beat Coventry. Fingers crossed.